When you were 5 years old, you were already being programmed. Not by choice. Not with awareness. But by repetition. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy. You heard it. You absorbed it. And without even knowing it, you believed it. Those words didn't just pass through your ears. They planted roots in your subconscious. And they've been growing ever since. Now you're an adult. Trying to build wealth. Trying to get ahead. Trying to change your life. But something keeps pulling you back. No matter how hard you work. No matter how much you earn. It never feels like enough. Why? Because your mind is still running an old script. A silent program written in childhood. Still playing in the background. Sabotaging your progress. This has nothing to do with luck. Nothing to do with talent. Nothing to do with your job, the economy, or even your education. It has everything to do with belief. The beliefs you didn't choose. But you're still living by. If you want to change your financial reality, you must first confront the invisible roots. You must dig up the old beliefs and plant something new. This is not about learning how to make money. It's about learning how to receive it. How to feel worthy of it. How to expect it. Because the truth is, money was never the problem. Your mind was. And today, we begin the rewiring. Belief is everything. It's the foundation of your thoughts. The lens through which you see the world. You don't act on what you know. You act on what you believe. And if you believe money is hard to earn, it will be. If you believe you don't deserve more, you'll block it. If you believe success belongs to other people, it will stay far from you. This isn't just theory. This is how the mind works. Your subconscious doesn't question what it accepts. It simply executes. Again and again. Until your life becomes a mirror of your beliefs. That's why two people can grow up in the same neighborhood. Go to the same schools. Get the same degree. But one thrives financially, while the other struggles forever. The difference is not in their skills. It's in their self-image. Their belief about what is possible. And what is deserved. Most people are trapped by beliefs they didn't choose. And here's the painful truth. If you don't rewrite them, you'll repeat them. You will recreate the same limitations. Year after year. Job after job. Paycheck after paycheck. Because deep down, you're still the child who heard. Don't ask for too much. Be grateful with what you have. Money changes people. And that child believed it. But you're not that child anymore. You have the power to decide what you believe. And that decision changes everything. It changes how you walk into a room. How you negotiate. How you ask. How you risk. Because here's the secret. Wealth doesn't just require work. It requires boldness. You must dare to ask for more. Dare to think bigger. Dare to bet on yourself when no one else will. But you won't do that if your mind is still holding on to fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of being seen as greedy. Or selfish. Or too ambitious. Let go of it. You are not here to survive. You are here to expand. To grow. To rise. To break through the lies you were taught. You were never meant to stay small. Look at your life right now. Look at your bank account. Look at the way you think about spending. About earning. About having more. Those are not facts. They're beliefs. And beliefs can be changed. You don't have to keep playing a game you were never taught how to win. You don't have to keep shrinking to make others comfortable. This is your permission. To unlearn. To outgrow. To choose differently. The world will reflect back whatever you believe. If you believe in lack, you'll find it everywhere. If you believe in abundance, it will begin to show up. But belief alone isn't enough. You must act. You must take the leap. Even when fear is loud. Especially when fear is loud. You won't feel ready. But that's the point. Courage only exists in uncertainty. If you're waiting for the fear to disappear, you'll wait forever. The new version of you. The wealthy version. The empowered version. Will only emerge when you step out of the old beliefs. And yes, it will feel like a risk. Because it is. But the greater risk is staying where you are. Living by someone else's rules. Someone else's fears. Someone else's limitations. You're not here to play small. You're here to remember who you really are. A creator. A thinker. A force. Money responds to belief. It flows where it's welcomed. Where it's expected. Where it's honored. So if you want a new reality, you need a new belief system. Not just in your head. In your heart. In your spirit. In your actions. Because you were not born to struggle with money. You were born to master it. And that mastery begins when you stop listening to the old voice and start building a new one. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. He was called foolish, unrealistic, delusional. But he believed. He believed in an idea no one else could see. And he was willing to risk everything to prove it real. That's not talent. That's belief. Backed by relentless, fearless action. Oprah Winfrey was born into poverty. She was told she wouldn't amount to anything. Abused. Abandoned. Overlooked. But somewhere deep inside, she believed differently. She didn't just survive. She transformed. She used every scar as fuel. She reprogrammed the narrative. And she built a media empire. Not just because she worked hard, but because she dared to believe. I am meant for more. Howard Schultz grew up in public housing. He watched his father struggle with dead-end jobs. No stability. No security. But he had a vision. And he risked it all for it. People thought Starbucks was a ridiculous idea. Why would anyone pay $4 for a cup of coffee? But he didn't listen to logic. He listened to belief. He felt it in his bones. And that feeling? That certainty? It changed everything. What do these people have in common? They came from struggle. They were surrounded by limitation. But they didn't inherit it. They rejected it. They didn't just want success. They expected it. And that expectation, that inner certainty, became magnetic. That's the pattern. Every great achievement starts with an unreasonable belief, followed by a bold decision. Not a perfect plan. Not a guarantee. A decision. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Colonel Sanders was rejected 1,009 times before someone agreed to sell his chicken recipe. J.K. Rowling was turned down by 12 publishers living on welfare before Harry Potter changed her life forever. These people weren't lucky. They weren't chosen. They simply refused to accept the old programming. They refused to let childhood conditions define adult outcomes. And they were willing to risk rejection. Risk embarrassment. Risk failure. That's what most people won't do. Most people want the dream. Without the discomfort. Without the doubt. But belief doesn't remove fear. It just makes fear irrelevant. It says, yes, I'm scared, but I'm doing it anyway. It says, yes, I might fail, but I refuse to stay small. When you believe in a bigger future, you start walking toward it. And life begins to rearrange. Doors open. Opportunities appear. The right people show up. Not by magic, but by alignment. You're no longer acting from fear. You're acting from truth. That's when you become dangerous. In the best possible way. Because once you know who you are, and you believe in what you're capable of, you become unstoppable. And let me tell you this. No belief is stronger than the one you choose for yourself. You don't need the world's permission. You need your own. You don't need a degree to believe. You don't need savings to take the first step. You need a decision. That's all success ever was. Belief made real through bold action. So ask yourself, what have you been taught about money? About success? About what's realistic? And more importantly, is any of it actually true? Or is it just familiar? It's time to break that cycle. You don't need to keep repeating your past. You don't need to relive your parents' struggles. You are not here to continue the pattern. You are here to break it. Elevate it. Transcend it. You were not given the desire for wealth just to wish for it. You were given that desire because the potential to fulfill it is already inside you. But it won't activate until you believe. Not halfway. Not when it's convenient. Fully. Like Edison. Like Oprah. Like Disney. Like the thousands of quiet warriors who decided, I will not settle. And neither should you. So today, be bold enough to believe in something bigger. And brave enough to act on it. Because belief alone is powerful. But belief with action? That's how legacies are born. Look at your life right now. Not with judgment. Not with shame. Just with honesty. Ask yourself, what beliefs about money were planted in you when you were too young to question them? Maybe you heard, money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. We can't afford that. Maybe you saw your parents fighting over bills. Or working 2 jobs just to survive. And somewhere deep in your subconscious, you made a decision. A silent, invisible vow. That said, this is how life works. This is all I can expect. This is what money means. But listen closely now. That belief is not the truth. It's a story. A program. A habit of thought. And habits can be broken. Beliefs can be rewritten. Stories can be changed. You don't have to carry your past into your future. You don't have to repeat the same struggle just because it feels familiar. You were not born to play small. You were not designed for lack. You are a creative, powerful, spiritual being. Capable of imagining and manifesting more than you've ever been told. But that power won't activate until you claim it. And that starts now. Today. Right here. Decide to question every belief that keeps you broke. Every thought that says you're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready. Because none of that is real. It's conditioning. It's fear passed down like an inheritance. But you're the one who gets to say, it stops with me. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. Yes, it requires courage. But so does everything worth doing. Taking the risk is not the danger. Staying stuck is. Living small to stay safe? That's the real failure. So stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop waiting for certainty. Stop waiting for permission. You are the permission. You don't need the whole staircase. You just need the next step. So take it. Dare to imagine a life where money flows to you. Where wealth becomes normal. Where abundance is your standard, not your dream. Dare to speak that life into existence. Even when no one else sees it. Even when fear whispers, "What if you fail?" You look fear in the eye. And you say, "What if I fly?" What if everything you want is waiting just beyond your old belief? What if your childhood story is not your life sentence, but your launching pad? Because that's what it can be. If you choose it. If you believe it. If you act on it. The life you desire is already written in the frequency of your heart. It's not out there. It's in here. And the moment you decide to trust it, the universe begins to rearrange. You start attracting the ideas, the people, the chances you once thought were lucky. It's not luck. It's alignment. So align. Not with fear. Not with your past. With the truth. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are capable of more wealth than you've ever imagined. But you have to want it. You have to believe it. And you have to act like it. Right now. Not someday. Because your time is now. Not when it's easy. Not when it's certain. Now. So take the risk. Bet on yourself. Reprogram the belief. And live like the person who already has it. The world doesn't change when you get more money. The world changes when you realize you've always had the power to create it. So stand up. Take the first step. Do what scares you. And become the example your childhood self never saw. Because someone out there is waiting to see what belief in action really looks like. And it starts with you. Now go. Dare. Believe. And claim the abundance that's already yours. This is your time. Make it count.